However, look who we have here. A man who is sweating on his place in Blackpool at the end of the month, but is not sweating anymore because Darren Webster not only turned up here on Friday night and threw 120 average in Euro Tour qualifying, he won his first PDC title in 12 years yesterday. And he's kicked off 180 here against the youngster Callum Loose, who's fired a 180 back at him. And Webster is going berserk in this one. Oh, 5 perfect darts. Now, Callum Loose, what you got? Can you go 6? No, he can't. Just the 3. Oh, what a start to this game.
93.
Darren Webster. Only one PDC title to his name. Ranking title, that is. And that was in 2005. Beat Ko Stompy in the final of the Open Oost Netherlands.
85.
And then yesterday went all the way. Beat Darryl Gurney in the final.
96.
He couldn't do it again, could he? Couldn't join that elite group of players who've won 2 titles in a weekend. Treble 19. For double 12. 101 checkout, 12 dart leg from Darren Webster. This man is on fire. We knew he'd been playing the best darts of his life over the last few months. The start of 2017, well, it wasn't quite as stellar as the end of 2016 for him. But look what has happened to him over the course of this weekend. It has been stunning from the Demolition Man. He comes into this today as the number 14 seed. He beat Mike Langendorf 6-1 and then saw off Ryan Harrington, son of the great Rod, 6-4 in the second round. Callum Loose, youngster. He beat John Bowles 6-4 in his opening game and then knocked out John Henderson, the other seeded player on this board, again by 6 legs to 4. Just missing out on a second 180. But he is giving as good as he's getting in this one, Callum Loose.
100.
However, Webster down to a finish first. A very pronounced lean with his action, Callum Loose, and he sort of seems to get closer to the board as he throws. Hang about, treble 18. Ooh, nod of the head. Webster is going to the oche and just expecting to hit everything. And why wouldn't you with the results he's put in this? He's unbeaten this weekend. Needs the treble 19 Loose. Moving over to the right-hand side, but can't find it. Can't readjust the sights properly. And I think he probably missed the 18s there because he didn't move back to the centre of the board. But double 16 for Darren Webster. It's a 13 darter to back up the 12 darter. That's a break of throw. And Darren Webster, well, how do you stop this man? It's like a tiny, almost 50-year-old version of Michael van Gerwen this weekend. From Norwich. He was in danger, Darren Webster, when he came here this weekend, of not making it to Blackpool. He was in the penultimate qualifying spot. Oh, 60 falls out the board. That's probably the worst thing to happen to Darren Webster all weekend. It's been a dream weekend so far. Just shrugs it off. The little man from Norfolk. Comes straight back with a ton 40. Well, it would have been 3 ton 40s he's had were it not for the 60 points on the floor in that second visit.
60.
Callum Loose started very, very well in this game, but he seems to have just gone off the boil for a second. And Darren Webster, he's all over him. Shake of the head from Webster.
89.
He is just expecting to hit everything. It's incredible to watch. This is a guy who just, he did think. He thought he'd made up the numbers. He was there to win a few quid and have an opportunity to play the big boys in World Darts, try and make the big stages. Now he wants to go and win everything. He thinks he can beat everyone. And that is a 14 dart leg for Darren Webster. All right, granted, he's getting worse. He's gone 12, 13, 14. And that is a 180 from Callum Loose. Once again, kicking off with a maximum to start a leg. £10,000 won by Darren Webster yesterday, which means that he is safe for the match play. Certainly is now with what's happened in the results today. But more importantly than that, it's winning another title after such a long wait. And going into the match play with the confidence, the belief that he can go and be the best player on the day out of a field of well over 120.
100.
Only a field of 32 at the Winter Gardens, of course. The top 16 in the world, and then the top 16 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit. That's the one-year money list. You obviously take out the top 16 in the world who are already on there, so you just go to the next one along.
64.
And right now, Justin Pipe is still in that final spot. Will he be by the end of the day? Double 10, Callum Loose.
36.
Misses a couple, but Webster's just had an off leg here, and he's a long way back. Well, at the minute he is. But that does get him to a finish. Now, Callum Loose, what have you got? Double 10. Did you just see that dart kicking over to the left a little bit? Oh, kicking over to the left even more, that one. He's got to move over to the right and try and go in the top part of the bed. It has to be. And once again, he's moved over to the right-hand side of that oche, and he's had a bit of trouble just readjusting the sights. And this could hurt. Oh my, it could hurt. Loose shakes his head. Oh, it's superb. Darren Webster, 4-0. A brutal finish. Loose shakes his head. What can you do? He was unlucky in the way those darts lay in the board. But superb stuff from Darren Webster to punish him in that fashion. I said, he felt like he was going to the oche and just thought he was going to hit everything. He did there, and he did hit everything.
66.
Players' Championship 15 yesterday may well, this weekend in Barnsley in general, may well have created a golem here. Little man from Norwich, Darren Webster. He is just playing with such confidence and such belief. He is a better player than he has ever been. Loose.
133.
133. And who knows what he could go and do. He may destroy us all. He may become world champion. He may win things.
94.
If he keeps playing in the manner he did all day yesterday, if he goes and averages 120 on a big stage at a big tournament.
57.
A man who's nearly 50, the granddad from Norfolk. Man who spends his weeks still doing his job. He lays paving slabs and does up gardens and stuff like that. He could become
140.
one of the faces of world darts. It could be Darren Webster on the World Series. It could. Don't say it couldn't happen.
36.
His former roommate, Andrew Gilding, nearly won the UK Open. Remember that? Okay, well, that's all right. Just go next door then, eh? Double 18. Callum Loose shakes his head because Darren Webster, even when he's missing, he's hitting. It's unreal stuff. 5-0. And you've got to feel sorry for the young man, Callum Loose. He's had a couple of great results today. Beating John Bowles, who's a seasoned professional. Beating John Henderson, who's a phenomenal player. Callum Loose, he did win a development tour last year. I barely had time to talk about him because, quite frankly, Darren Webster has been superb. He's been playing Challenge Tour and Development Tour stuff this year, Callum Loose. This is his first Players' Championship event of the year. He did play in the UK Open qualifiers, didn't quite do enough to make it to the UK Open, so we've not seen him make his debut at the UK Open. But he is, you know, he's a young lad. Look at him. Darren Webster's probably got, you know, hammers in his tool bag at home that are older than Callum Loose. And the young man from Manchester, he's shown that he's got something about him. He can play some decent darts. He started playing development tour properly in 2014, so he's still got a lot of developing to do.
140.
And a first chance this year to play on the Pro Tour for him. And he's gone up against a man who is just playing some phenomenal darts this
45.
weekend. Less said about the visits of 26 and 45 in this leg, the better. But double 10 for Luce to get a leg on the board. Double 5. There it is. Callum Luce gets a leg. There's not much celebration from the young man, but it will not be a whitewash.
$140. 30.
Well, not a great visit for Callum Luce, and you get the feeling that this might well be the final leg of the match.
60. 58. 60.
96, mate.
Sorry, 96.
Darren Webster, of course, beat Darrell Gurney in the final yesterday. Beat him quite convincingly as well. Gurney didn't perform to the level he'd been playing throughout the day, but Webster did a job on him. Won it 6-1. If he wins here, and he is looking very good to do so against the young man from Manchester, Callum Luce, it could well be a repeat of yesterday's final in the last 16, because the winner of this faces either Darrell Gurney or Jermaine Watermaina. Callum Luce fires in a third 180 though, and it does get him down to a finish. There's pressure on this 82. Well, had a dart bounce out of somewhere near the bullseye. Darren Webster denied him a match dart because he needed treble 14 with his next one. Luce is not going to take out the 134, so Webster will come back. 8 for double top. It's his favourite double on the board. It's the furthest one away from him. But he's not bad at hitting it, you know. And certainly isn't this weekend. Darren Webster, the demolition man, remains unbeaten this weekend at the Metrodome. A 6-1 win to storm into the last 16. Yesterday's champion could yet face the man he beat in the final yesterday, Darrell Gurney. It's Gurney or Watermaina versus a rampant demolition man.